Hi guys, my name is Abdul Rahman and welcome to Learning Him. Guys, today in these tutorials I'm going to tell you about Android Studio, how to create applications in Android Studio for beginners and as well as for those who already have some knowledge about the Android. So let me just show you, for those who already did not install Android Studio, you just need to download two files. First is the Java Development Kit JDK8. You have to download this and install this before you install the Android Studio, and you can accept you have to accept this and you have to download according to your whatever your system is, for Windows, for Linux, for Mac, for Solaris, for whatever the your machine has. And the second thing is you have to download the Android Studio from the official Android Studio website, and I will paste both the links in the description. Okay, so after downloading it, you just need to install the development kit first, and then you need to install the Android Studio development with the default settings. I would recommend that you install with recommended settings if you already did not know how to install, or you can look for some tutorials on website, YouTube, or any other. So once the installation is complete, in this tutorial I'm going to give you a little bit overview about Android Studio, that how it works and what are the main features, what are the things, what kind of files are there with which you will interact with the Studio, and how will you create the applications in Android Studio. So let's just I'll be back in a second after my Android Studio is open. So now my Android Studio is loaded in memory. So once you completely install the Android Studio, and when you will run the Android Studio for the first time after complete installation, it will show up like this, and what you have to do is click start a new project, and this screen will appear. You have to set a name for your application, so let me name it as testing, whatever you can say. So I will click on next, and this is the API level that you have to select. If I select the latest API, which is 8.0 going at the moment, so what will happen is that all those devices which have Android 8.0, my application will run on that platform. So I already know that for those guys who have Android greater than 4.0.3, my application should run on these platforms. It is not backward compatible, so it can be easily run on 8.0 or anything else, because the latest APIs have new features which API 15 does not have. So whatever application I create in API 15, it will run in 8.0, but if I create an application with an API level which is newest, I would not be able to use the latest technology, latest feature. But if I know that my application is not too much complex and it does not include too much latest technology or so you can choose whatever API. So once it is selected, these three are unchecked, click next. And now these are the basic some templates that Android Studio team have provided for the users, which we this is a really great feature for us, for the beginners and as well as for the developers, because in the earlier versions of Android Studio this feature was not available. So we had to create each and everything you are watching here, tab, activity, setting, and I will go through each activity and show you. For now I will select the empty activity which does not have anything in it. So this is the activity name. This is the name of the Java file in which you will write some code and it will perform the functionality. And this is the layout name. Layout name will be reverse of this name. If I change this name, like learning, you see it reverses the text and type it here, activity underscore learning. So I will just remove it as I will let it as the same main activity. Okay, now the layout file what does is, whatever we create, text boxes, check buttons, you see drop down menus, each and everything is created in activity main, and the functionality behind all those buttons, clicks and everything is performed in activity main activity.java file. So let's just click on finish, and today I'm going to just show you a basic application. I will also run the application and show you the output as well. Yeah, and the main thing about Android Studio is, when you open the Android Studio, a new project and create a new project, it will take a few seconds to completely load, so be patient. You see my Gradle build is running, so you see a red or is being read, so cannot resolve symbol or. You have to be patient as a beginner, because it will take some time in the fresh Android Studio installation, and all these error will be solved as the project Gradle build is finished, and I will tell you that which files you have to interact with. And you see Gradle build finish in 1 minute 1 second, and so and now once you open the new project, you see this is main activity.java, which I was telling you about before, and these are some libraries, and this is the activity main file. So let's just go through activity main.xml first. Okay, XML file is the file in which you create your own layouts, you create your own kind of text boxes, buttons, radio buttons, check boxes, list view, each and everything you create is related to activity main.xml file. So it has two modes, one is the text view and the other is design view. If I click on design view, it will show me the actual the screen of an application or an activity, you can say, which will be shown on my device or any other devices I choose. So let it load first, and you see here are some all the options that you daily interact with in your life, but as a developer now you will interact with these and create choose these options and create your own layout. So let it load first, and you see my screen has been loaded. So you see there is a little text here which says hello world. If I click on it, and you see it is highlighted here, and some of the properties of this is shown here. So it actually is a text view in Android, which is this option, the very first option here. Just like a simple button, this is a simple button, a toggle button you see very in various applications like on and off, checkbox, radio button, you will see all the options. But just for this is a hello world text view in which the text is hello world. You can change it to something else, so let me change it to something, because this is the very first tutorial. So I would say my first application. So all these text just forget about it for now on, because I'm just going to show you how actually it works. You see, as I replaced the text in the text while going here, I changed the text from hello world to my first application, and in the design view I see the desired result. You can also change the text of my first application from the design menu as well. If you click on the text view, you see the text is selected, so you see the properties here in the design view you have a very few properties of a specific widget, or you can say text, layouts, constraint, images, dates, whatever you are making. You have a less of properties in the design view, but you have more options in the text view. So you see I have selected the text, and if I click back and I click somewhere else, my first, if I click somewhere else, you see the text is changed. So I will click it on again and I will just type my first. So I can change the text from the design menu as well, but there are limited options in the design views. Let me show you an example. For example, if I want to give an ID to a specific text view, because there can be 2 or 3 text views in the same application as well. So what can I actually do is type Android and some colon, and you see these are all the options that Android Studio shows me about a specific element. These are all the options that are available for me for this text view. These will be available for other text view as well, but if I type Android ID, you see it gives me ID equal to, and if you click on @ +ID /, it means that you will assign an ID by yourself, a new ID. Now I will type my text. So my text is an ID of this text view. I can use it in the Java file. Later on I will show you how. So now the main our thing is that if I close this file, where will you find this file again? So it's really simple. You have to go to res folder, layout, and there it is, activity main .xml file. It is opened again. So same for the main activity.java. If I close main activity.java, you see it is already showing me you see a folder with blue icon. You click on this and you see 3 folders: Android test, and without something, and a simple folder. You just click on it and there it is, your class, which is main activity.java. So, and the next thing is the last thing about this application, and then I will run this application, is that how this Java file is related to XML file. Now the question is that whenever you run your application, there is a method behind it which is named as onCreate. onCreate is a method whenever you run your application, and if you close your application, reopen the application, you kill your application, force stop it by going into settings, apps, and force stop the application, then you run again the application. In every kind of situation, onCreate method will be called. So but in some cases, like if you press the home button and you resume your application again by pressing the menu button and selecting your application again, that will cause some other methods to be called. But whenever you close your application and open that, it will call the onCreate method. So the question still arises that how is this Java file related to the activity main.xml file? It's really simple. There is a method in onCreate which is named as setContentView. setContentView means that whenever this Java file will run, whenever this code will be executed, what file do you want the user to interact with? So it is the activity main.xml. So how do we in every whatever you want to in the earlier in the upcoming tutorials, I will show you. Even if we fetch an ID of an element, just like I have set the ID of a text view 2 or 3 minutes back, and whenever I want to fetch an activity main layout file or any other file, I will start with R. R is the basic element with which you will fetch an element or other files in Android Studio Java file. Okay, so now r.layout.activity means that r dot is the default because this is a base element, Layout means that layout is the folder in which there is a file named activity underscore main. So it will set the content view according to your screen of the mobile width and height. It will set the content of this activity main.xml, and this same as you are watching here, you will see it on your mobile application. So one more thing about this tutorial, in this tutorial I'm going to tell you is the screen you see here. This is known as activity. Activity means in simple I will tell you that an activity means that an action or a thing with which a user interacts with. Okay, so this is our main interface with which the user will interact in our application. So an Android Studio, in Android Studio you can create multiple activities. An application can have multiple activities and you can switch between those activities, and in the upcoming tutorials I will tell you how you can switch between them. And all these files, all these activities can have some different Java files or the same Java files, but they will definitely 100% they will have different XML files. So I will tell you how you can create another activity and jump onto that. So the next thing is, before I run the application, is you see these menu items. You can drag drop these items as well. If I drag this item, you see it is another text view, and you see it is added here, and the properties are opened here. So I will name it as if I name it as I will name it as text view 2. Okay, so text view 2, I have renamed this, and I think it is time to run the application. So let me just open my software so I could show you my Android application. I will run in this application on my Android device. You can also install Genymotion, or you can use the Android Studio emulator, but it will take time depending upon your system specifications. So I would recommend that you should try everything, every application that you create on mobile device on different also. So you click on this green button you see, and this is the select deployment target. Deploy means that where you will install this application, and this is my mobile phone. So I will install it and I will show you the screen that when this application runs. You see Gradle build is running and it will install the APK on my mobile phone, and I will show you the output, and you will just have an idea that whenever you run an application, the main thing whatever you do on activity main will be shown on the application's main page or the main interface, you can say. You see it's installing APK, and let's check our output, and you see testing text view 2 and my first application. You would be wondering that my text view is in the middle, and why it is showing on the top left corner of the screen. So I will tell you again. So wait. Okay, so let's check this again. You see actually the thing is that I have accidentally created two text views at the same time, so this was my mistake. So this is a text view 2, you can say, and 2, and I think this is good now. And all you can do, just simply do, is delete the code from here. You see my first application, it is alone, and now you can drag and drop only one text view, Now it will be aligned here, and just click on this green button again and it will run the application one more time. So it will install on the same application, and it will replace the application that is installed a few seconds ago on the device. So let's see. Now you will see that it will open any moment now. Yeah, yeah, you see it's text view, and my first application, the text view is showing in top left corner because I have not given any kind of margins. You see in this there are some margins, and in this text view there is not any kind of margin. So what you can do is Android layout margin top and bottom, I can say 10. You can give it in dp, and just for the same as you can type margin left, you can type it as 10 dp. So now for the third time and the last time, I'm going to run this application and you will see the result. Now it will have some margin when it will show the text view. So let's check our application has been installed, and you see there is just a little bit margin here and in the left side, so it is not properly showing in this software. So I hope you like this tutorial. It was just the beginning, but in the upcoming tutorials inshallah I will try my best to teach you as much as I can about Android Studio, and I will tell you that how to create good and efficient applications in Android. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for more, and if you have any kind of questions you can comment. If you have suggestions you can give me also in the comments below, and please subscribe, support, and thank you for watching. Goodbye for next time.